thank you for that weather. I'm not going to let you go anywhere, though, as we start our Faces of the Fair series making its big return. Do you have a better answer to the question I asked you earlier this morning of how many plants do you think are put in place for the fairgrounds each year?
Now that I'm thinking
You
about
said 900.
Let's go 10,000.
So much closer. The answer in the story that's about to air, but first I want to give you just like an up-close look. So we are here in essentially a parking lot, right? But the folks here that are part of the landscaping crew, there are only 3 of them that are full-time, my friends. Look at this beautiful bed, this garden they create, right? So this is mulch. You'll find out how many tractor trailer loads they get in my story that's going to air. And then they have these plants. They are still within the pots, so that way they can actually absorb all the water when they have to go through and water them. They do that before the sun rises every morning. Every time we're out here at the fair, we see them doing that. Now, I got to hop along with Jessica File, the head landscaper for the Erie County Fairgrounds, back on Monday ahead of today's opening day. Take a look. When you enter the Erie County Fair, your senses will be overwhelmed with the smell of food. Your eyes will dart to the carousel. Have you ever thought to stop and smell the flowers?
In the spring, we do about 2,000 pansies.
Jessica File is the head landscaper for the fairgrounds. She says that in June and leading up to the fair, 10,000 plants
This is mostly my gardening baby.
are put into place. If you're doing the math, that's 12,000 total. File has a few years of landscaping at the fairgrounds on her resume. This year, her first as head landscaper.
At my house, we do more like pumpkins, sunflowers, vegetables.
File certainly takes pride in the team's work.
76 of these terracotta type colored pots that just get moved around the grounds to mark walkways, fill in areas put by vendors.
They aren't just planting flowers and creating beds to show off their green thumbs. There is a reason behind each petal and leaf.
Just based on layout and how where spaces need to be filled. So if it's a big walkway and it just doesn't have the color that we want, we'll get a bed put in there.
If the tents leave a void, a planter is placed.
We stuck it in here, but we'll pull that out forward. We just think adding something like this to help break up the monotony of your on blacktop. It's all white tents.
If they get last-minute calls like 2 days before the fair, like when we were there, there's a greenhouse for that.
Succulents, different things for fill-in or areas that we know it's a struggle because it gets so hot.
Which brings us to the blacktop and the 11 tractor trailers of mulch they get each year.
Hide the stuff that's not so nice to look at but is absolutely necessary to have.
And they're working until the last minute.
Oh yes, we still got a couple more beds.
Year-round, too.
When Festival Lights comes up, we put a lot of temporary trees in.
All to bring a little joy and learning to anyone who steps through the fair's gates.
The amount of it that we do is really nice, so you get exposed to a lot of different plants that you probably don't even know are there.
You'll just have to take a moment to notice. 12,000. So you were close.
Yeah, yeah.
You were close. Scott, did you think of a better number than 1,200? You were close. You just needed to add a couple zeros.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I think I had 2,500 originally. I had upped it to 5,000, so I was still way off.
Okay, well, you were better. No, I like to give you guys a hard time. But yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So please stop, smell the flowers. If you see Jessica or anyone else landscaping, just tell them thank you because they work so hard to make the fair just feel like a little town, if you